Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the third game for these two sides. It will be the Samoa Sevens outfit taking on Spain. At the moment, Samoa, they are 2 from 2. They have started their Sevens competition in Sydney absolutely brilliantly. The important thing is now not letting it slide up against the Spanish. Now, Spain are a good side. They've upset teams before in the past, but this game for Samoa is so important because if they win this, they get through to the quarterfinals, which is already further than we saw them get in Hamilton last week. Looking through at the Samoan starting lineup, they will be as follows. They've gone with a bit of a new look side to a certain extent, resting a few of their main players from the other matches. Levi Milford, then it will be Taunuu Naulivaya. BJ Lima gets his first start of the Sydney Sevens. Poeti Slater, Milani Matavao back in the starting lineup. He is actually the only co-captain who gets a starting lineup spot for this matchup. Tuna Tuitama, brilliant in the last match up against the USA, managed to get himself 2 tries, both actually off kicks, one with a chip in behind and the other with a small grubber. And then the last man in the starting lineup, it will be Owen Nui, does close out this Samoan starting lineup. So straight away, we see no Paul Scanlon in the starting side, Va'a Pilomaleko, no Valvasa Afasua in the starting lineup or reserves bench. So maybe some sort of injury there for him. Also taking Motu Upitai out of the starting lineup, but they are all off the bench. They're going to be great to see in the later stages of this contest. Morning, folks. Says Gareth, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well indeed. Nice early morning start for yourself in South Africa, and I'm sure you're looking forward to New Zealand versus South Africa not too far away. For the Spanish side, it will be Sainz Trapanga, one of the main players for the Spanish, one of their best, and he will certainly be looking for a big performance in this contest. Valencias, Romero, Juan Martinez, Rena, also, this is the tough name that always gets me. Francisco's fine, I can do that part, but this next part, Cosculeula, I believe it is, and can show the game instead of talking. Unfortunately, due to copyright, we're unable to show any match footage or audio, but I can recommend checking out the World Rugby Sevens website, and then you can work out whether or not it's free to watch where you are. They actually stream it directly on their website, so be sure to check that out. And then the last man in the starting lineup will be Manteca, was the last Spanish player, but these two sides running out onto the field at Allianz Stadium. It's a beautiful afternoon in Sydney, so I do hope we get to see some free-flowing rugby action. So far, Spain, they have lost both their games in Pool C. They lost to the USA 33 points to 14. They were still able to score 2 tries in a tough contest there, and then they did lose. They were scoreless up against the Irish, whereas the Samoans, they were able to beat Ireland by 5 points, which actually worked out to be a massive, massive win for them, as it now puts them in the box seat to be able to go through and screen the game. Don't want to hear you. I just told you where to watch the game. Palinapa. He's listening, not the strong point there. But looking through at the benches for the Samoans, it will be Va'a Apilo Maleko, Paul Scanlon, Fa'afoi Falaniko, Noele Letufia, and Motu Opitai. And those guys will all have a big impact later on in this contest. Let's go. Manu says Savai. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Or it might be Savai, is it? Possibly. And also Jake is gone for the Samoans. But it will be Spain kicking off this match now for Samoa. And also TT is laughing in the chat as well. But it is going the 15 meters nicely taken by Samoa. They'll look to have a lot of the possession, just like they did up against the USA. They absolutely starved the United States of any possession, but already breaking through. It's going to be the big number, 6 Naulivaya. They won't catch him. This is going to be a try for the Samoans within the first 20 seconds of this contest. Talk about a dream start. And do not underestimate the Spaniard, says Spider-Meg. That's the thing. Teams have done it in the past. We've seen New Zealand beaten by Spain. I believe we've seen Samoa beaten by Spain in the past. I don't believe they've beaten Fiji, to my knowledge. Maybe have they taken down South Africa before? It's one of those sides similar to Kenya. Hey, you just never quite know what is going to happen in this Spanish side. Sometimes they come out and they're on fire. Other times it doesn't quite work out. And also, come on, Manu, says Gareth, and also Malauso Fa'amalosi says Faletti and Paula. Welcome in. Hope you're doing brilliantly. That is a brilliant early try for the Samoans. The scoreboard doesn't want to say that they've scored, but it is 7-0 at the moment. Samoa win by 31, says Christina, and that would certainly book them their spot through to the next stage. The thing is, in their quarterfinal fixture, they're either going to be playing up against New Zealand or South Africa. A very tough fixture. It's going to be loose off the kickoff. Does actually bounce there. They've said that it's a little knock-on from Samoa, and now Spain will have the ball in their hands just outside of their own 22. Hopefully our scoreboard does decide to update itself at some stage in the near future. Fingers crossed. But Spain at the moment, just outside of the 22, still looking to go wide with a nice ball out to the man whose name I can't say. We'll call him Francisco, as that's his first name. And that's the one that's a little bit easier to say off the tongue. Now using their backline nicely here is Juan Martinez. Going across to Manteca. Spain looking to slowly build into this rather than just rushing up the middle. That is when normally Samoa are their most effective and are able to get themselves their turnovers. Yeah, still 7-0 for anyone wondering about the score. Unfortunately, that one doesn't seem like it's going to be working, but Spain trying to fire back. Juan Martinez gives it on the outside. They've got numbers. Valencia is now one more pass. Here comes Spain down the wing. Oh, brilliant tackle from Owen Nui, forcing Romero into touch. They take it quickly, but they've been told to go back for it. And also, Hamish, it's me, Jason. And there as well says Jason. And also go Manu says DA. And there as well, but brilliant tackle from Owen Nui, just wrestles. In fact, it was Manteca in the end who thought that he had a bit of space down the wing. And the Samoa winger said, nah, you're not getting through. I'm going to try updating this, see if it works. No, scoreboard's still not updating. At this point, we might have to put a scoreboard down the bottom. We will do that in the near future. But now Samoa, we want to have to add another try to it, although the ball's just been dropped. So Spain will get the ball back, and it's Manteca now on this near side of the field. He's covering a lot of turf at the moment in the first 3 minutes of this contest. Here we go. Scoreboard starting to work. Nice ball on the outside, although it might have been for Oliveira. Takes it back onto the side of the Samoans, I believe. Oh, that's a very quick advantage from the referee. In fact, Samoa went backwards there. I thought they might have considered going back for the scrum, but now Spaniards have got the ball. Spain, I should say. Nice ball on the outside. Manteca goes for the grubber. Malani Mataval watches that ball into the in-goal area, puts it down, and it will now be a 22 dropout. But a fast-paced start to this game, only 3.5 minutes in. We've already seen the Samoans score their one try, which was a very nice one by Taunuu Naulivaia. But they need to make sure they don't allow Spain too much space on the outside. As we've seen, they will consider going for that kicker behind Malani Mataval, the veteran. He had it very well scouted. And go, Manu, you got this, says Jason. And also we have got the England. We're beaten due to baseball against South Africa, says Coding. And also we have got the who should be Wallabies captain for 2023. They'll probably go with James Slipper or someone along those lines, just someone with a lot of experience. If Michael Hooper isn't going to want the role, that is. Nicely over the ball. That's going to be the penalty. Brilliant work from Tuitama, like I mentioned in the intro for this match. Got himself 2 tries in the last fixture up against the USA. Now, scoring up against any side is normally tough. Scoring twice is even harder. And scoring up against a side that actually made it all the way through to the semi-finals, that was even better from the big man at number 14. But straight away, just saw it, went for it. Saint Rapaga just had to sit on the ground and hope that Tuitama didn't rip it away clean. And also, you play cricket match or not? Is it raining? It is not raining, but they called it off from the drizzle earlier on. So unfortunately, if they had waited a little bit longer before calling it off, I think we would have been playing. But yeah, they called it off very early. And bad news for the All Blacks. They're not going to win next year's World Cup, not even make the quarters. There's Spider-Mick in there as well. So not making the quarters would mean, I assume you're picking France and Italy to finish above them in the group stage, Spider-Mick. I think those are the 2 highest ranked sides in the group. With the ABs, it's going to be kicked in behind. Here comes Samoa again. It's a foot race between Juan Martinez and also the speedster, Poeti Slater, who picks it up, finds the offload to Owen Nui. And that's the second of the match for Samoa. And the benefit that they've got here is even if somehow they do end up losing this contest, it would still mean they need a massive win for the USA to be able to finish above Ireland. So I believe Samoa, they should be able to close out number 1 in their pool. And then whoever wins New Zealand versus South Africa, the loser of that contest will go on to face the Samoans in the quarterfinals. And can I just say, that is a final right there. The quarterfinal matchup between either Samoa and New Zealand or Samoa and South Africa. Like that on any given week would be an absolutely awesome game to watch for the final. And also, I thought you were going cricket. It got rained off. So no cricket in the rain, unfortunately, even though it's quite nice outside at the moment. They called it off early, though. Go to Manu, says Feliti and Paula. And also, can see anyone other than Hoops or Slipper. Rest of the team's pretty young. McWright and Ikatel, potential future leaders. I guess, I've never heard Valentini talk, but he could be an option. They normally like to go with someone in that loose forward trio, don't they? So McWright will be a good option. That's going to be a third try of the match now for Samoa, just using their backline, going off to the right-hand side. And Malani Matavao receives the offload from Tuna Tuitama, runs it in, and Samoa now 3 ahead. Hey, brother, long time no see. Beautiful work. Says Angelo, welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. Another kick successfully going over from the Samoans. And that's going to make the score now 21-0. So, the thing here is Samoa looking in some pretty good form, which is absolutely brilliant to see. They need to make sure they continue that momentum now, though, into their next contest. We know that Spain, an equivalent with South Africa and New Zealand, probably a different style of playing, and also maybe a little bit less active in that breakdown. At the moment, Samoa doing what they did up against the USA, and that is keeping that position for a long period of time. I actually mentioned it last week. I said they just didn't have the ball enough. They didn't take those risks in the breakdown to try and get that ball back. And ever since this week has started for Sydney, I've just looked very, very good. Turnovers conceded 2-1. Restarts 2-1 at the moment in favour of the Samoans, and they've had more line breaks in this matchup, making 7 tackles. Still missing 3, but Spain unable to capitalise on those 3 missed ones. I've noticed that since Spain are playing, even simple words that I'd normally say, I'm starting to roll my R's for. Like a couple of the Samoan names, I feel it almost rolled there. I wasn't even saying an R. But I think that's what always happens when I do Spanish or the Argentine side, who are actually in a bit of a pickle at the moment. If they lose their next game to Australia, Great Britain, if they beat Canada, they go through, and Argentina, the defending champs, will miss out on the quarterfinals, which is something we saw Samoa have. They won in Cape Town. They missed out on the quarterfinals when it came to New Zealand. Maybe that is just the new trend that we've got for the Sevens. Samoa might lose, says Angelo. The thing is, sides have lost from being 21-0 up before, but they weren't playing Spain. And that's nothing against Spain. It's just a very, very big task up against a very solid Samoan side at the moment here. USA, they will be playing Ireland in only about 12 minutes' time. Whoever wins that game pretty much goes through to the quarterfinals to face New Zealand or South Africa. Samoa on the ropes, says Gareth there. I wouldn't surprise me if Eddie chooses Quaid as his captain, says Gareth. Or Nick White. Nick White might get a captaincy, even though that would annoy a lot of people. That's a huge hit from Naulivaya. Martinez was looking for his passing option. He wasn't looking behind him, though, and Naulivaya just rearranged his vital organs. Big wrestle with the ball there. Knee is just down. We can hear the crowd singing at the moment. They are absolutely loving seeing the Samoans in action. 30 seconds gone in the second half. Nicely wrestled down there, number 13, Valencias. Going to the left-hand side here for Spain. Samoa, I think they've got potential of being able to score another 3 tries in this half if they do get it right. In the breakdown, not quite able to get that one. Tuitama, unlike earlier on in the contest, Spain still with it in hand, although Juan Martinez has fumbled it, and it will be the Samoan scrum on the halfway line. Martinez, one of the more experienced Spanish players out there on the field. Unfortunately, when it's not your day and those passes aren't quite sticking, it just seems to be a trend that goes through the whole side. It's like when you're giving away penalties. If you give away 3 penalties in a half, more than likely you're giving away 4 in your next half. It just seems to be that trend of you can't quite break that momentum. And that is why Sevens is such a tough game to play. If you get it wrong for 7 minutes, in fact, if you get it wrong for 10 minutes, you're pretty much out of the game. We cover BBL tonight, says coding with 2 question marks. We will not coding because of the quarterfinals of the Sevens. So we will be covering those ones. And SYDNEY bro says, Atalini, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Now Malani Mataval, about to feed the ball in. A little bit too much movement there for the referee's liking. We'll have a scrum reset. Something we don't see too often in the Sevens circuit. Series try source. They say that there's been no Samoan tries scored off kicks, but Tuitama scored 2 off kicks last game, so maybe they don't consider that as the equivalent. Do you know about the Melbourne Rebel versus Fijian draw? I know that game was taking place, but sadly they didn't have it televised. I could find you the result if you did not know it, unless, of course, you do know it. That's kicked in behind by the Samoans. They just wait for that ball to bounce. Tuitama sells the dummy, tries to go straight up the middle of the park, and once again, the Spanish under pressure. It was Lafurgo giving away that penalty. It looks like there might be a Samoan player down. I believe it's Tuitama, but they decide to continue here, Samoa. They're like, even though we're down to 6, we've got the momentum. Might as well try and make the most of it. Although the loose ball, not quite picked up cleanly. It's going to be the knock on from the Samoan number 5. Well, hang on. It's going to be a try. Who knocked that ball on? BJ Lima's got the try for the Samoans. How did that not hit a Samoan hand? I thought for sure that was a knock on, but they've said play on twice. I think they gave an advantage against Spain, maybe for being offside. Either way, Samoa, they will certainly take that one, but yeah. And also, what's the points? I'll quickly get that up for you and let you know. But yeah, they decided to play on. BJ Lima scored the ball nicely. And next year's World Cup in order, South Africa, Pumas, Ireland, England, 5th place, either Aussie or France, says Butter McDan. Yes, says Ivac. So yeah, they will be going through to the quarterfinals here, Samoa, to face either New Zealand or South Africa. Now, it's a tricky one because I guess for something a little bit different, you go New Zealand to play Samoa, South Africa, Ireland, mainly because we have seen Ireland play New Zealand so many times. But Samoa, New Zealand, you don't like seeing it as a quarterfinal because then you realize one of the sides has to go home. And either way, you know that both sides are going to throw absolutely everything into it. Martinez gets down to a knee. 3.5 minutes left of the second half. Back across to the left-hand side here for Samoa. In fact, sorry, for Spain. Will be the man who gave away the penalty just a little bit ago. Lafurgo. He gets too much tongue roll for my liking. Another penalty goes. Unfortunately, Tuitama unable to roll away. There are 3 Samoan players who are all caught in the breakdown, and Spain will be able to run in a nice, easy try down the wing. Might not make a huge difference to the score in the end, but it is still going to be useful enough. And also, do you know any website in Google where I can watch the game? If you're talking about the Sevens, I highly recommend World Rugby Sevens website. And the reason I say that is because depending on the country you're in, you may be able to watch it for free. If not, unfortunately, there's not really too many free options out there. For New Zealand, it's Sky, and I believe quite a few of the Pacific Islands, they have got Sky Sport Pacific as your option. I was like, Hamish, I'll be live at 2 p.m. There's Brandon there, and come to Samoa and watch the game with that home brother. Says Angela, tell you what, it's on my bucket list going to Samoa. I'd absolutely love to go there, either watch a local game live or just go there for a holiday. I think would be absolutely awesome. It's on TV at home, says Angelo there. Currently 3 minutes left. Samoa sitting 28 points to 5 up. Okay, so the Fijian drew a Rebels game. Unless this is wrong, which it could be, it's saying it's 0-0 going into the second half. So I don't believe that would be the case. I'd like to think that someone would have been scoring it. What about the Super Rugby? Super Rugby-wise, I think it is, you've got to go through either Sky or Stan in Australia. They have got a short free trial that you can use, but it's only for about a week or so. Sky Sport now has a month free trial, so that's another option if you are in New Zealand. At the moment, Samoa getting forced just a little bit further back. 2.5 minutes left. Malani Mataval with this ball just outside of the Samoan 22. Falaniko puts in the fend. He's come off the bench recently, so still relatively fresh. Matavalo, this is the most minutes we've seen him have since coming back from injury. Now the big run. Owen Nui, you are not going to catch that man when he starts running. And he's got miles of space. He's put the ball down in the shade. It's pretty hot in Sydney at the moment, so strategic going to the shaded area. And okay, thank you. And Bulavanaka says Atalini there as well. And a nice seller, the dummy from Owen Nui. And as soon as he gets through, I feel like he's got to be man of the match for this contest. He scored 2 tries. He also made a try-saving tackle down the wing on the Spanish winger. So I'd say man of the match has to go to Owen Nui. And he might even get himself maybe a hat trick. He's still got time, 2.5 minutes or so left, maybe 2 by the time this kick is taken. Samoa. That one is going over. The scoreboard's forgotten how to count, but it is 35 points to 5 rather than 36. Someone got keen, gave them a bonus point. But I will mention Samoa, after their first game, we said they needed to work on that kicking at the goalpost, get those extra 2-pointers. 5 from 5, and a lot of them haven't been easy kicks in this matchup. So That's very promising for the Samoans. Now, the question is, wasn't Milani Matavao who kicked that one? I didn't actually see who it was, but if it is, I feel like with that kicking experience and the accuracy, you probably have to have him in the starting lineup for the quarterfinal as well. They've just stolen the 3 points. They'll have to give them an extra 2. So that's 30. There you go. 35 points to 5. At the moment, 90 seconds left in this one. It's gone high. Spain taking it nicely in the air. And it will be Spanish number 10, Manu Moreno. 40 metres out from the line here, Spain. Just trying to find something in this contest up against the Samoans, who have looked dominant from the first whistle all the way to the final one, you would think. But now taken quickly by Juan Martinez off the penalty, goes wide. This might be a try again for the Spanish. He's going to be going down the wing. Ceres taken down, but still manages to slide over the line. I love jinxing people. I said that they'd look dominant from start to finish, and then they concede a try. But it still won't be enough to get the Spanish quite back into this match. But they're doing a similar style, I guess you could say, to what they did up against Ireland for Spain. And that is still hunting for those tries every once in a while. Spain got 2 tries. It's bad for Samoa, says Angelo. Yeah, maybe a couple defensive things need worked on before their next game. You look at the fact that they're going up against either New Zealand or South Africa. Those two sides know how to capitalize on little defensive errors. But 25 seconds left. Samoa looking very good. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will be back for the Samoan quarterfinal where they face either South Africa or New Zealand. Like I mentioned, it's going to be pretty awesome to see how far the Samoans can go in this competition. The boys need to defend that line properly, says Angelo. But it's kicked off high. Waiting for this one to come down. Almost slapped back by Spain. But instead, Owen Nui able to clean it up right. It's going to be the penalty to Spain. I was about to say all Samoa need to do is kick this ball out. But instead, Spain will get the final crack at this defensive line. Milani Matavao misses a tackle, but does manage to wrestle back into it. Going to the left-hand side here. Spain have numbers. They decide to step on the inside instead. Just hanging on to the ankle there, Falanico. Milani Matavao went for the strip. 4 men on the right-hand side here for the Spanish against 3 Samoan defenders. Juan Martinez stagnant in the middle of the field. Not able to get through. And the big confidence builder here for the Samoans would be to not concede a try right at the end of the game, but they are just about to. They do. And that will be the 3rd try of the match for Spain. The 2nd of the match for Alejandro Leforga, sorry, I should say. That will make the score now 15 points to 35. And 2 tries against Samoa is fantastico, says Spider-Mick. What about 3? Just managed to get themselves another one. That's the thing, or that's the thing, I should say. Spain are definitely a side. Like I mentioned, they can cause upsets every once in a while. And 3 tries, that is very poor performance, boys. Just conceding those ones. It was mainly an open play as well. It wasn't really off a set piece. Samoa, they do often like scoring off a set piece themselves. So it will be an interesting matchup. But Samoa, they have made their way through to the quarterfinals, ladies and gentlemen. Their matchup, I can actually tell you the exact time that they will be playing. And the answer to that, once I find it, they will be playing their quarterfinal fixture at 10:05 p.m. New Zealand time. So that's the game that they've got. They know that they are going to be playing either New Zealand or South Africa. Not yet confirmed yet who, but one of those 2 sides. So a big game nonetheless, and we will be covering that one on the Kiwi Lads channel. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Fiji and Drua have just scored in their matchup. It was Salawa who was able to score it up against the Rebels in the 44th minute. So at halftime, it was actually 0-0 between those 2 sides. So not exactly an entertaining first half for Fiji and Drua and Melbourne Rebels, but building now in the second by 3. Wow, says Spider-Mick. And thank you for your commentary, brother. See you on the next one. And also, we have got there, you should go, put on some boots while you keep complaining, says Aposala in there as well. And also, we've got the Samoa needs some like New Zealand because they beat New Zealand before. And you get New Zealand, then play Argentina, then play Fiji in the final. It will good, says Brandon. Yeah, the 2 sides now running out onto the field. The next game that we are covering is in 40 minutes' time, ladies and gentlemen. That will be South Africa versus New Zealand. And that one will confirm who the Samoans take on in the quarterfinal fixture. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I mentioned, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you all for the next one.